H-Town, what's up? You know what time it is. It's time for the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter, alongside guess who? Jim Hicks, coming to you live from Houston, Texas. But we're broadcasting all over this world via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. It's a great Tuesday today. We got a whole lot of stuff to cover with you. Jimmy, yesterday we had a couple of topics that we didn't finish. And I would love to share that with y'all again today. But I got a couple of things before we go anywhere. Got a couple of things I want to share with the people today. Jimmy, first of all, yesterday, and I should have did it yesterday, happy birthday to Dr. James Naismith, the inventor of the game of basketball on December the 21st. 129 years ago. I meant to say this yesterday, but we were going so fast. And guess what, Jimmy? Too, I want to take time out for the Facebook our starting five. Let me introduce my starting five, Jimmy, and then I want to thank the starting five, and I want to thank all the people on our feed. But our starting five on this Tuesday. Let me go. Todd Holmes, Derek Johnson, Rod Wells, Thaddeus Moody, and Mindy Collins. And my sixth person of the day is Tyandra Holmes. And then, but guess what? What's up, everybody? But Jimmy, I wrote something for y'all. I want to thank everybody for joining us every 4 days a week. I really want to thank y'all as we move in this space day by day. And the rhythm gets more and more clear. What I found out, the conversations we're having are becoming more of conversations. We talking to you and you interacting back with us. It's like a classroom. We're learning. And I just wanted to thank y'all, man, because I really, really appreciate it. I learned from y'all. Don't never think, even the ones who don't like me, it's okay. It's all right. I still learn how to deal with people that, watching you every day and don't like you. I learned how to deal with that. But, Jimmy, I was just thinking and just learning about, it's just so many things that we are going through. Lionel Garr, he passed away a couple of days ago. So let me tell y'all something, man. It's a great Tuesday. And I want to shout out, I meant to say this the other day. I wanted to talk to who've all seen the show, the Netflix special, Ma Rainey, that one of August Wilson's plays. And I'll tell you later in the show about who August Wilson, a little bit about this that I know about him. Ma Rainey, you got to see. It's a must-see on Netflix. And later on in the show, I'm going to tell you about Charlie Woods. We didn't talk about it, Tiger Woods' son. And Jimmy, I want to shout out to all the black businesses out there. And let me show you. I'm a black business. Jimmy, a black business. It's a lot of people on here, black businesses. But the greatest stimulus, and I want y'all to notice, and I might mention this later again in the show, who the people are not on here yet, because I haven't shared the show yet. But the greatest stimulus that black business can receive, y'all, is black people supporting them. Let me repeat that. Y'all, we arguing about and we're about a stimulus check and swear about it. But the greatest stimulus black business can receive is black people to support them. And it's not too late, y'all. Let's throw our support behind black businesses this Christmas and beyond. Drop the name on a few of them on the Facebook feed if you want to. Then let's know who we rocking with. Okay, Jimmy, what you got going on today? I had to get that out the way. What we got going on?
Of course, first and foremost, we want to get college news. Of course, football, the college playoffs, bowl season is upon us. Kicked off yesterday with Appalachian State picking up the good win over North Texas tried my best to watch some of that game last night.
I didn't watch none. I don't watch
You know, but
them.
remember Appalachian State though? I mean, they were a powerhouse in their
Jimmy, I
own,
just
in their
never
own right.
watched it. I never watched but the two bowls. I don't watch the unless I know somebody on the team.
Yeah. We didn't ask you, did you watch?
Yeah, but I'm telling you. I'm telling you. That's all.
That's not. I'm saying we're not. It's like you wasn't asking me when you was
talking. There's a lot of stuff you don't ask me. But I'm telling you, I don't watch it. So you keep talking about it. I just don't watch it.
And understand. And we don't care if you didn't watch it.
Yeah, okay.
So now.
Well, I don't care. Well, hold up. I don't care if it came on. I don't care if it came on last night.
So guess what? Guess what? If you don't care, then what you do normally when you don't care about something that's being talked about on the screen?
Talk about it.
What do you do?
Talk about it.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Talk about it.
You're going to do something else. Well, and
okay, I'll go do something else.
That's normally.
I'll go do something else. Come on.
That's normally. You do something else.
Come on.
So
talk about Appalachian
State won last night.
Okay.
And speaking of bowls, a lot of bowls, guys. I didn't even realize. Guess what bowl is going to take place today? Have you guys heard of this? The Potato Bowl in Idaho. Think about. I mean, the Potato Bowl. We also got. Understand the New Mexico Bowl, the Camellia Bowl. That's Friday. The Gasparilla Bowl, the Cure Bowl, the First Responder Bowl, the Military Bowl, and the Cheez-It Bowl. I think that's, I remember hearing about that. But a lot of your old conventional bowls, like the Alamo Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and the Liberty Bowl, and all those are later on in the week or next week at the latest. But I'm just looking at all of these new bowl games. And many of those, none of those are going to meet their quota on earnings, going to all take a hit this year in regards to bowls, football, that is. The Final Four team, the main thing, the college football playoff, we touched on it yesterday. That's Alabama will play Notre Dame. South Carolina will play Clemson. I'm sorry, not South Carolina. Ohio State will play Clemson. And once again, down in this part, a lot of people from Texas A&M feel like A&M was robbed. And you guys believe some people up north, west, feel like Cincinnati was robbed. And you guys in the Boom Boom Room, you hear every year around this time, the conversation has been rehashed about expanding from 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 teams. Then the conflict would say, well, that's too long within the season. That'll be too many games for some of the teams to expand the season outward of such. And guess what? The only way out of this thing is to expand it. The only way out. Because now what happens, which we just seeing right now, we're seeing that there's no way that a team that's not part of the Power 5 will make it into this bowl and to this new. Now they did before by default, but not into this new. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So expand the bowl means more money. I would think NCAA, they normally run at the opportunity to make more money. You guys, and Kendall Gam say, how long before the Cannabis Bowl? You know what? As much money as that stuff generating around the country. And remember, there's a bill sitting on the floor on the floor right now to make it legal nationwide. I think Sheila Jackson Lee and part of her crew, they spearheaded and wrote and sponsored that bill. Trina said we're watching the Ray and Claude Bowl. Hey, we can give us a sponsorship check from that Ray and Claude Bowl. They can get it 2 hours a day, every day. And Martin says, Jimmy, why do you think the committee does not want to expand the championship series? You know, that's understand what makes who makes up the committee? Who makes up the committee? The committee is a group of athletic directors and administrators, for the most part. So it just shows you the disconnect. But then football is king on pretty much every campus. Well, hell, on all campuses that's a Power 5 schools, football is king. That's the conferences, of course, the ACC, the Big 12, the Big 10, the Pac-10, the SEC. Football is king on every one of those campuses. I don't know why. I think that understand, this is what I think. A lot of times you translate this stuff over and we think about use examples of grassroots basketball. Why don't a lot of the sneaker sponsored teams like playing non-sneaker sponsored teams when it comes down to the nitty gritty? They'll play you on their own accord, on their own demands. But why do you think they don't like being put in pools nowadays? Even in pool play, they don't prefer to be in the pool with a non-sneaker sponsored team. So that could be some of the same underlying.
But why would you have a bowl game with one of these Power 5 people, these non-bowl series people, and their fan base is not as big? See, all of these guys got rapid fan bases. That what I've been finding out in the bowl series. Everybody got rap. I mean, when I tell you that those guys in Appalachian State, Cincinnati got a good one. But Cincinnati ain't gonna bring the people these other people are bringing, and it's all about money to these people, man. I mean, it's simple. It's all about money. They make money via sponsored, and the sponsors want to be by the designer names, and that's just hold up. Just like y'all buy designer stuff, y'all are designer people. These people are these sponsors. They want certain things. These sponsors want Louis Vuitton. They want Rolex. They don't want that other stuff. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. And I mean, and the fan bases are very, very important because guess what? They rely on people to buy stuff. The merchandise and stuff. And those fans come there with unlimited amount of resources. Man, I've been to games. I've been to games, college games. I mean, people standing outside scalping the tickets. And the amount of $100 bills that you see change hands right out there on the street. Because if I'm from Alabama and I got it going on and I got all my guys ain't got no tickets, I'm going to pay whatever to get my guys in this game. So it's a unique. I don't think the guys from a smaller college, I'm not going to call no college out, a smaller college, some of them, they just not as enthusiastic about their teams as a whole. They don't have the numbers. I put it like this. They don't have the numbers. So that's how I feel about
it. Just a couple of years ago, one of those schools from the G5, that's the group of 5 that's up under the Power 5 school, the next 5 conferences. I think it was Central Florida was or something a couple of years ago that they went undefeated and they went and declared themselves national champions.
Was
that Central Florida?
One of them teams in Florida. The one in Orlando. Yeah. Central Florida. One in Orlando.
Yeah, Central Florida. And the thing is, here's the thing that's funny. And I do understand to a certain degree, but it's still, I wouldn't mind them expanding it just to give one of those guys a haymaker shot. Everybody loves a David and Goliath. I'm not saying you let four Power 5s and four G5s. No, but fix it where at least one of those guys can get in. Let's one of them get in at least, maybe two max, and and or you let one of them get in and do a 7 teams, and have the bracket kind of like the NFL is doing this year. They have 7 teams in each division, so that means whoever get the first seed gets a bye. But then if they do so, of course, that's a big money day that you leaving on the table, because whoever's first seed, somebody like an Alabama or Clemson, you leaving that revenue on the table for us stimulating the economy of some fortunate city. But man, I'm curious. So what in this season, Cincinnati, I'm curious to see what was their attendance. What is their attendance like? Or were they even allowed to have fans? Well, nobody had a maximum attendance anyway this year. So, but we talking about the bigger scope of things for the money, the revenue, the alumni base, the strength in numbers. But I would, it's like back in the days. Remember, just not back in the days. Hell, that was just what, 10 years ago. University of Houston was one of the top 10 teams in the country. Kevin Sumlin was getting it done. We were rocking and rolling at University of Houston, and they could have. In Houston and H-Town felt if they could have got up in, if they'd had this bowl series like it is and had an 18, U of H would have been one of those. Could have gotten there. Who knows? Haymaker. People just love to see that. Interested on that. But anyway, guys, we go to break time.
No, we ain't gonna break right now. We ain't gonna break.
We come right back.
No, we
got some other stuff to talk about. Some college basketball last night.
We can continue. We can continue a little bit. We can continue. No break right now. We can go. We can talk about college. I just wanted to mention something about college basketball. I'm glad you're there. First of all, I was going through some mentions the other night. I was looking. Shout out to Damon Stoudemire. And one of the reasons I'm calling his name out, Penny Hardaway. I didn't even talk about it on the show because it's old news to me, but I guess it's great news to a lot of people. Signed a new 5-year deal with Memphis, and Damon Stoudemire said, "Congratulations on the extension, coach. You win, we win." And Jimmy, I was going through the mention. No other coach did it, it was just curious to me. That's why I want to share. Share the show right now. I just want to shout out to Damon Stoudemire for he said something key. He said, when we win, when you win, we all win. And guess what? As you can see, I didn't see no other coach in those mentions. A lot of coaches just failed to mention. A lot of coaches didn't fail. They tweet everything else, but they didn't tweet that. And sometimes it's just I look at things like that. And but on a greater note, it's great news that Florida basketball star Keontae Johnson, who collapsed on the court December the 12th. It's December the 22nd now. It's being released from the hospital today. Man, great news for the Florida, University of Florida, their staff, and that young man and his family. Glad, and I hope, see this, and I think I talked about this the other day. I hope that we stretch this and understand, let's get more research and get more diagnosis of this kid, because I told y'all this myocarditis that's been found in the NFL players, when you contract COVID, it does something to your heart. It does something to your heart. So I just hope the parents, and I hope somebody at the University of Florida is listening, get extensive tests. See, this college students in this college campus, they might not take these guys through extensive testing like the NFL does. And so if your kid contract that thing, parents, go get him checked further. Go get his heart checked. Okay? All right? Just remember that. If your kid contracts COVID, make sure you use them doctors to take it a little bit further and just make sure your baby okay. All right? What else you got in college sports, Jimmy?
Well, of course, on yesterday you had a few games took place around the country,
Mhm.
and of course, top seeded, top ranked according to one of the polls, Gonzaga. They did what they were supposed to do against a Northwestern team out of Natchitoches, Louisiana, and 95-57. How about the Baylor Bears, 99-42 over
LJ Crowder.
Arkansas Pine Bluff? Wait, that's another SWAC school picked up a check for that hammering upside the head. And guys, understand something. Just similar in basketball. No, somebody's going to win the SWAC.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to win the SWAC. Somebody's going to win the SWAC tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if, let's say, if those SWAC teams had not the opportunity to play against some of these Power 5 teams during the non-conference schedule. You know what those SWAC basketball teams would probably be saying after their season is completed and they've ran undefeated in their conference? Know what they would be feeling like? Give us a shot at them. We could beat them.
You talking about now? People talking about now?
No, they know it. They know it now.
I watched that Baylor game last night, and I'm gonna tell you. And I started to tweet it, but I saved it for the show. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I just couldn't. It's a vast difference between the 5 basketball players that Alcorn had on that floor, and the 5, Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm sorry. It's a vast difference between the Arkansas Pine Bluff 5 players that they had on the floor than the Baylor 5 players every time that they had on. When I tell you a chasm, the Grand Canyon, I sit there and watch. I mean, player for player, every guy that came out, there's no match. And I know Jimmy. I can't explain it. And I know it's such thing as high major and low major, but Kenneth Gamble, you're a basketball coach. Did you see that game? I just want to know, is the gap that wide? Is the gap that wide? I'm just talking about talent. I ain't talking about coaching. I'm talking about, it just seemed like these guys Baylor just was some more, and they are. But that much, them dudes almost didn't get out of double figures sometime, man, at some point.
You know the thing that's ironic, that's funny to me is I always go back, guys, and I look at some of the box scores. And in looking at the box scores, you can tell a lot about a program. You can tell a lot about a coach. You can tell a lot about the confidence that coach has in certain bench players. So in a game like this, even before the game starts, and then we mentioned University of Houston because it was similar to them, they played on Monday against another SWAC team, Alcorn. Here's what happens in games like this. Power 5 schools get the opportunity to play at home, get some live game speed. And this is one of those games where if there was a player who, let's say, if they had played Gonzaga before the Gonzaga game got canceled, let's say the kid might have not played many minutes or any, if at all. This type of game against Arkansas Pine Bluff can help restore the camaraderie. It can help restore the confidence in some of your players, your reserves, to get them just chomping at the bit enough to where they may not want to transfer. They can buy in. And it can give you as a coach a reason to let a kid play his way into favor or play his way all the way out of favor. So I'm looking at the thing at the box score, and understand, once again, the final score was 99-42. It's 57 points spread on that game that Baylor beat, and they're supposed to. That's how to say it. Now, Jordan Turner, who hadn't played many minutes at all, he played 14 minutes last night. He got to shoot 5 times. He only hit one of them, 1 for 3 from three-point land. He had 7 points. That's solid. Not a good shooting night, but 7 points produced. I mean, he had 4 free throws, 4 for 4. That's solid for him. Okay. Also off that bench, LJ Cry, 25 minutes. But LJ has been playing for the most part. He been playing in that good.
Yeah, you don't count him. He play in the big games. You don't count him. He done played in the big games.
We gave you guys. LJ is averaging about 17 minutes a game this season. So his minutes, he played 25 minutes. So he got a bonus. Normally, like I say, this is the type of games when those guys that are the reserves get a bonus. You get rewarded for your service in practice and preparation. LJ, 15 points. That was the most of any player on the Baylor team last night. 4 for 7 from the field. All 4 field goals made with 3-pointers. He only took 6. He made 4. Outstanding. Right? In regard to that, you're talking about what? That's 66% from 3-point land in that particular game. 3 for 4 from the stripe. No turnovers. That's what a head coach want to see when they're talking about guards and ball handlers in games. No matter the magnitude, those turnovers low. And on top of that, 2 steals. So LJ Crockett, Matt Mayer, 19 minutes. I don't know how many minutes he's averaged a game, but he got a bonus. He don't average 19 minutes a game.
No,
this is what happens. Then it means the starters, those minutes get sacrificed. They get a dip in minutes, which means the way that you look at it, they get to take the rest of the night off. They get your job is well done. You get to rest. So it ain't a demotion. You get
Matt
to rest.
Mayer was one of the top players in the country, wasn't he?
He's one of the top players in the state. And in the state, and he was teetering around that. You say a top 100? Yeah, he was a top 100.
I don't know.
In a poll or two. He
wasn't a top. Just wild.
50.
He just wild and take bad shots. But I like his game.
But he's aggressive though.
Oh my God, that's why I said wild. You call it aggressive. I call it wild. Yeah.
And he had Matt had 12 points in 19 minutes. And so what my point, so I look over at Arkansas Pine Bluff, at their box score. On their bench, you're getting beat by 57 points. You only got 2 guys that played double-digit minutes. So he left his starters in most of the game. Baylor's bench was questioned. What you expect that? So then what I did was I went and I took it a step further. Let's see, like where are some of these guys from? Where were they? Were they all? I'm talking about Arkansas Prime. I'm talking about the starters. I ain't talking about the reserve. But once again, they only played 2 guys off the bench that played more than 10 minutes in last night's game. That ain't a good sign. That ain't a good sign. Coach, that ain't a good sign. It ain't no damn way in the world you should play your starters that many minutes in a humiliating loss of such already. You get those guys reserves some burn.
That's why you ain't no coach, but keep talking.
No. That comes from a coach. I was talking to this morning. They pointed it out to me, Hatter.
Is it
that comes from a coach, a head coach,
is it head
college coach. Say you don't do that. You play those other guys.
Yeah.
You already got your butt whooped.
Have that head coach you talked to, have he ever been fired before? Hey, so coaches make mistakes sometimes. That's all. That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm trying to think he left a job.
Yeah, coaches make mistakes sometimes. His ass done made some mistakes.
But look, Hal, you're down by, look, at halftime, the score was 55-12. So at halftime, 55-12, you had 2 guys off the bench that only played 15 and 17 minutes respectively. You had another guy played 7 minutes. Another guy played 3 minutes, and 2 other guys played 2 minutes apiece. What the hell are they on the team for? If they can't play in a 57-point defeat, when can they play?
Let me tell you something. All I'm saying, when I think about this, and you know I'm all for being instant. I'd have been hot as hell if I was them guys who played 2 minutes. The 2 minutes guys.
Yeah.
Coach,
in that loss.
I might have did
Because
a
that's what you're losing for.
Jimmy, I might have pulled a Scottie Pippen. I might have said, hell no, I'm not going in right now, coach. Coach, I would have said, coach, come here, baby. Come here, dog. We've been getting beat by 1,000. Man, you could have let me play back then, coach. Hold up, Jimmy. Get what I would have told him. Coach, I couldn't do no worse than your starters did.
I just found something else. Y'all don't believe this. I can't make this up. Out of those guys, the whole entire bench for Arkansas Pine Bluff, you know how many shots they took combined? Out of the whole bench in a 57-point loss, they took 4 shots combined. No free throws combined. No 3-pointers combined. They only took 4 shots combined.
And one of them had 5 fouls.
You lying. Sure did.
One of them had 5 fouls.
Hey, know what that mean? Know what that mean? The key word of the day, he was aggressive.
Remember what I told you a minute ago? You talking about aggressive. I said that motherfucker wild. He wild. Hey, y'all. Ooh. Oh my God.
Yo, man, when you watch this, so that means if you're going to Arkansas Pine Bluff and they're recruiting you, if you're in the starting 5, coach gonna be down with you, gonna be 10 toes down. But if your ass ain't in the starting 5, you may not even play in a 50-point loss. That ain't cool. So let's real quick, Hal. The start.
Jimmy, I ain't gonna try, Jimmy. We can't sit up here and bash that HBCU coach.
No. Real is real. See, I'm saying something. Know the difference is if they was in high school, then let's leave the kids alone. Some of these kids might have been.
That's right. These men, yeah. But coach, who is the
these
coach?
Grown men.
I want to know who the coach was.
Hold on. Kendrick Bell. Well, the coach, of course, of Arkansas Pine, but that's George Ivory. I know him. He knows me, and we've been knowing each other for a while.
That don't mean
right. I might just call him today and ask him personally.
Yeah, call him.
What the hell is that all about? I might just call him today. Normally teams have practice around the 3 o'clock hour. I might just call him this evening.
Yeah,
give him a time to cool off. But they got one. I'm looking at one star. I'm just trying to see where these guys come from. The starter. One name is Kendrick Bell. He's from East Mississippi Junior College. Okay, so he didn't come from a Power 5. Another kid, Joshua Johnson, Glendale Junior College. So understand. So he's another junior college player. They got another kid that was like the starters from Arkansas Pine Bluff. Where's Jalen Lynn from Mid-South Junior College? Okay. That's another JUCO player. Okay, another one is where's Morris? What's Morris' first name? DeQuan Morris from Coahoma Junior College, another junior college transfer.
Yeah.
And the last one, let's see if we can go 5 for 5. Doss. Sean Doss from Iowa Western Junior College. They have 5 JUCO transfers in the starting lineup.
So it's called cohesiveness, Jimmy. They not a cohesive unit yet. Jimmy, hold on. No. COVID prevented these guys from doing a lot of things with their team, especially these small colleges.
But that ain't the issue that I'm pointing at. The thing that I'm pointing out, I didn't even know I was going on the cusp. Yeah. And what I was saying, and by the way, how the kid who had the 5 fouls, I knew his name looked familiar. He's from out of Houston.
Talk about Stedrick?
Yeah.
I got some I want y'all to help me with. I saw this on Twitter the other day. And Kenneth Gamble, I want you to, I want all the coaches, all of you coaches aficionados. Jimmy, I want you to. I need all y'all. Somebody, I think it was, Eddie Barlow. He asked the question, coach. How does HBU, Houston Baptist University, miss the talent right under their nose? Jimmy, he said Ashley Jones came on and said they have 5 Houston kids, and 7 Texas kids on the roster. So she don't know. He said they can't play though. A lot of kids that can play go without any offers. HBU should be one. HBU got strict academic requirements, don't it, Jimmy? I'm talking about HB Houston Baptist.
Well, academically, I mean, they're not Rice. I mean, but at the same time, you got a 2.3 GPA, and you can ball, and you've met the minimum SAT score, you can get in.
So tell me why all of these bad ballers we got, y'all, all these bad dudes, but all these bad dudes, you know, their mamas, they Jimmy, they get paid for tweets. They pay for tweets. They can do all of this. How come none of them dudes are being good enough to go to HBCU? We had one kid went for a year and he left. A couple of kids. Weber went there, he left. What's the lefty?
Well, Weber went there and left pretty much by force than by choice.
Well, no matter what, Jimmy, all I'm saying is, I ain't talking about the reason they left. My thing is, why HBU as big and these people feel we got so many talented kids in this city. Why they are perennial, one of those guys, a perennial footstool around the country.
You say why? Well, yeah. First of all, I've spoken with the head coach of HBU a couple of years ago, and the type of player that he likes. It appears on the local level he gets a thrill. It seemed to me that he gets a thrill out of identifying that diamond in the rough from Greater Houston, and would take the risk versus the reward of going and developing him and then getting him into a starter, into a player. And then next thing you know, you can say, see, everybody missed on this guy. I got him right. But then in doing so, you know, you've had a few of those at HBU. It had a few throughout the years. You can count them on one hand in the past 10 years that they've gotten. But at the same time, those are the makes. The misses is the amount that they've gotten from Houston that didn't bust a grape. And they far exceed. And I think that's one of the underlying current of that statement, which you read off, where people would ask, why? And guess what? That's his eyeball.
But okay, guess what? Just like you just said, years. Jimmy, just like you just said, that other coach you say you're going to call it. Coach, when I'm telling you, I didn't even know who in the hell HBCU coach was. But that man that been there like 100 damn years, Jimmy. Maybe it's time for his ass to leave.
He just got an extension, Hannah, like a year and a half ago. Just got an extension.
Man got to be 80 years old, Jimmy. The man older than Joe Biden. Shit, me.
He's not that old.
Somebody look it up.
If I had to guess, if I had to really guess, I would guess Ron is about 62.
Wait, okay. Somebody look that one up.
I'm just curious. I'm curious. One of you guys look it up and let me know what year Coach Cottrell was born. Was born. If I had to guess,
but he just seemed nothing against Coach, but me just physically, he seemed just. Jeffrey Day said he older than Biden. Oh, he must be laughing at me. Yeah, but I just want to know how. I mean, he just seemed like this basketball then gone by. Jimmy and Coach. I mean, that was a great question when they proposed it. I meant to ask it on Monday, but I wanted to actually make sure you were here. That's just a weird one. That's a weird one to me, man. I mean, we got all of these ballers that's supposed to be so good. We got every trainer. We got the most trainers in the world. We got the most media in the world. We got a bunch of kids that say they've been slept on. So my thing is, why isn't HBCU at that level a powerhouse? That's the only thing I'm saying. That's the only thing.
And the thing is, HBU,
He's
they
60.
only won
Lord,
4
Jimmy, you're
games.
right. They 60 years old, man.
How old is he? How old is he?
60 years old.
I said about
Wow.
62
Yeah, you
max.
said
I'm
it. You
just
I know
looking at
it's
how
good.
he.
You hit it
Yeah.
good.
So if I had to guess on it, but once again, the team only won 4 games last year, coming off of winning 12 the year before that. HBU right now is 1-7 on this season started. 1-7, and that lone win was against, follow me now, Champion Christian College. Champion Christian College. They won 93-60.
Let
Let me tell you something I'm seeing in the trend of losses. Remember, I tell you guys, now we was talking about people are going to lose. But then you're looking at certain things about the box, some things about consistency, is you'll see if a team is talented, certain teams are talented enough to not lose by as many points as they lose by on a consistent level. For example, I can look right now. Of course, these guys, they're looking and say they played a tough ass schedule. HBU would. They open up with TCU, right? That's a money game. They lose by 24. Then they go and they play Arizona State, who's a top 25 team at the time. They lose by 23. That's about the range. Then you go and you play SMU, since at SMU. You lose by what, 27. Okay. Then you go to play Rice, which Rice was hot at the time. You lose by 22 to Rice. You win that other game that I mentioned earlier. You go play Rice again. This was a home and home that they played with Rice. They lose this time by 21. They played North Texas, right, last week, lose by 30. Then they played at OU when they lost by 19. So guess who they played coming up? Dallas Christian at home.
Jimmy, I know. I'm listening. I'm just trying. No. I want the general public, because I never thought about this. I never even. I probably passed by that going up down 59. I'd have passed by that place a million times, and I just never think of them at all. I went when old Casey, Case, the young guy, was the assistant coach over there. I went over there because when he was there, but I haven't been over there since. And maybe they just don't have a relationship with the guys in the community. Who are the assistant coaches? So we already know the coaches, but who are the assistant coaches he have over there? He used to have a young brother over there.
Keeper Rod is still there.
Okay, I don't know him.
That's the brother. That's what they had 2 brothers, I think, that worked for him, and Keeper Rod was one of them. Mm-hmm. And I know Barad, I think, is still there on the staff. I think he's still on the staff there. I'm almost positive. And but my point when I brought up those games and those scores, with that schedule, Hatter, it ain't which one of those teams that they should have beaten that they didn't beat. They put that schedule together. And guess what? In order to help raise money and raise funds, they had to go and take a lot of the money games. But at the same time,
Coach,
I don't know how to took North Texas.
I don't mind them taking money games
on the road. Coach, I would have changed that. I would have played that Paul Quinlan instead of that game. And that way, now you got to balance them out. It looks like ain't none of those teams that they lost to that they shouldn't have lost to or should have beat. None of them.
I just wonder why there's not better talent over there. That's my point. I know you come from your point. I'm just looking at the talent. Why boom boom room? Why y'all ain't sending your kids over there? AU guy. Why haven't it been to Kenny Gamble? Why haven't it been a Rashard Lewis play over there? Who else, Jimmy, on his Facebook feed, on his feed got teams? Why y'all ain't had Jimmy, ain't that what but I guess y'all don't have, maybe they don't have no relationship with the people. So I understand that.
I tell you, I got the feel from him that they like a certain type of player, and he has job security.
I
He
see.
meaning the head coach.
That's his first and only job.
He has job security, and they have. And I saw when I was there.
Jimmy, did you hear what I just said? And you glossed all over that. That's his first and only ever job.
He's probably been there total maybe 40 years total, because he was assistant and he was working in that program before then. I remember him telling me that. And so he's grandfathered up in that joint. That means now all you got to do, winning basketball might not be a part of it. And the good thing about it, let me tell you guys something now. If I hadn't broke this, I think I've touched on it before. I think it's the perfect time to break some news. Guess what? Good news for him is that the Southland Conference is about to bust up. There are 4 schools that are very likely to depart from the Southland.
How many schools in the Southland? How many in it?
Huh?
How many in the Southland?
What, about 11?
Oh, it is?
About 11, something like that.
Okay.
11, maybe 12, maybe a dozen. 4 of them is about to go in 2 years. And the buyout is like $1 million buyout. That means you got to pay the conference $1 million to get the hell up out of there. But they're realizing that conference is a 1 bid league. You have to win in basketball. You got to win your tournament to even get a sniff. SFA was a powerhouse in that conference in basketball, and they're going to win, play show every doggone year. Well, lately, as long as while the current staff is in place. So that's what you got. That is no win. And so they're going, once again, you hear it from on the Chop Shop. At least 4 of the current Southland Conference teams that's been in meetings with the administrators and the presidents of the school about serious talks. And the ball is rolling, not just talks. The ball is in motion. That means right now, everybody going looking in the ashtray to see if they got the meal. If they get that, they got the meal. They good for that meal. That's what's happening right now. Everybody checking around. They looking up under the mattress trying to make sure they got this million. Everybody go get your money together, and we meet up in a couple of weeks. We got something for them. That's what's going on right now. Their conference tournament is in Houston. The marketing of the conference, I think, is as a conference, I think is piss poor from the Southland Conference, because the Southland Conference it's a platform, and it attracts normally a lot of the top players from Greater Houston and DFW. That Southland Conference do. But you ask the average kid, think I'm joking? Go pick any kid that you want. Pick 3 of them at random over the next few days, and ask a kid to name you 3 schools in the Southland Conference.
I can't even.
I'm serious. Tell them to name me 3 schools in the Southland Conference. And no, they do that. Start stumbling and mumbling. And you're talking about being students of the game.
And it's 13 teams, Jimmy. It's 13 teams.
I said 11, 12, so it's 13. I know it's a lot of them. So that means if 4 fly in the coop, they still have enough to hold the conference. Don't bust the conference up. So the conference still.
Oh, this is the conference that Lamar in. Okay, all right, okay. Stephen F.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, you got. Yeah, I mean, okay. SFA, Lamar, Incarnate Word,
Abilene
HBU,
Christian,
Sam Houston State.
Yeah.
So
which teams Jimmy, do you know of the teams that's coming out, just trying to pull out? Have they?
I know a couple of them. I had all 4 in my mind, but I can pull. I know SFA is one.
Okay.
Lamar is another.
Okay.
Sam Houston State is another. I can't remember the 4th.
Okay. All right.
SFA, Lamar, Sam Houston State are 3 of the 4. They gone like that turkey.
Through the cone.
How that turkey, how you go?
They go through the cone fast.
They gone. and guess what? I don't blame them. Okay. You think about it, like I say, there's no marketing. If the conference tournament is in Houston, see, the rules, man, you can't go and recruit. I mean, let the high school kids in free. They can't do that, not the prospects. But there's no rule against going to get every elementary school in the city. In KDISD.
And what about middle school?
I would work with that district and make it a field trip.
What about middle school?
No, 7th grade on up. You can't do that. That remember the NCAA went all the way down to the 7th grade.
Okay.
So that means, but the elementary school kids, you can turn it into a field trip. You remember how you went out to the Cypress tournament that they have out there in Cypress in the Berry Center. And if you ever been to that tournament, throughout the afternoon, they bust some of the school kids to the stadium, and that'd be some of the best spirits you're gonna get in that. I mean, the place seats 6,000-7,000, but when those little kids be down there, you hear them, they fired up, they happy as hell not do no classroom work.
Yeah,
they can do the same thing with elementary school kids. And see, one thing about elementary school kids, if a kid go behind his back or between his leg one time, know what them little kids gonna be over there doing? They gonna be fired up. And if a kid coming free and the mama got to come pick him up and want to come, what you think every other parent might want to do? Come buy a ticket. See, Southland marketing department is, put it like this. Look at University of Houston's marketing department, Hal. They've made the new thing. You saw the new thing they got? The culture. They talking about the culture now at U of H, ranked number 6 in the country. Mm-hmm. University of Houston, they've done a superb job. Because at first when Kevin Sampson, this regime, ever since the Hurricane Katrina, and Sampson's daughter got to helping out, that their marketing, and not saying she's not over the marketing department, but the marketing of the basketball program, don't get it twisted. That Jordan brand deal helps a lot too now.
And her name is Lauren. She's big enough to have her whole name. Lauren Sampson is unbelievable. But keep on going. Yes.
And of course, speaking of the Cougars, they beat Alcorn 88-55 on Monday.
Queen Grimes.
On Sunday. And in that game, they had about 4 regulars that maybe 5 didn't even play, didn't even suit up. They knew it before the game for one reason or another. Didn't even suit up. So that means once they did, they gave a lot of reserve. I think Jamal Shea got the start, Hatter.
Yes, he did. I saw that.
I think he got the start. This is a kid that people in Texas was like, man, he might gonna be the odd man out. You know what happens? I saw his dad.
That's what people get for running their damn mouth all the time. But keep going. Yeah.
But it goes to show us that the dad and the family never subscribed to that. They were prepared, and I spoke with that. They were prepared mentally. It sounds like, okay. If I go there, I'm going to that school and being part of that. I love that coach. I love what he's selling. I'm buying it. And guess what? If I don't play as a freshman, so be it. But that don't mean I'm not going to go out there and fight and bust my ass in practice and try to get out there on that court. And that's what he's done. That's what it shows when you got to fight in it. If you're a point guard and you can win ball games and you can defend, that means you got an advantage over many of your peers. He's been winning. He's been winning in high school, regional tournament back to back in 5A at Manor High School. So he knows how to run a program. We watched him. Even though Shadow Creek beat them in the playoffs last year, hell, Shadow Creek's supposed to beat them based on what they had. If you look at the personnel on the floor, it was him and the 7 Dwarfs. Jamal Shea and 7 Dwarfs. And guess what? They were still competitive. That same team, he came at the year before. I call it upset. Hightower. 2 years ago. Upset. That's what I call it, because Hightower had enough fire to get there. But that dude, so now you see that same style of play. You watch him now, and guess what? He has a coach that believed in him. Remember how I went to Fort Worth when U of H played Texas Tech? And I tell you what happened time they put him in the game. First possession, he gave that ball away. He played hot potato with that damn ball. Gave that ball clean away. And one thing he didn't do, he didn't look over at the bench to see if he was getting subbed out. And Kevin Sampson didn't even flinch. And when I saw that, I noticed something. I said, okay, that means he has confidence in him. He didn't flinch or frown. And the young man didn't say, my bad. A little my bad. He just went back and defended. or tried to defend. Guy still got around him and got a bucket on him.
Yeah, Kevin
And the coach
Sampson like him.
coach didn't flinch.
I've seen him make several key turnovers, and coach stayed with him. So yeah,
Yeah.
coach,
So
coach
that's yeah. So now, of course, we got the topic. You had the mailbag on yesterday. Some other stuff was in the mailbag.
Yeah. I was just talking about the middle school cheating, and just wanted to know what your parents think about that. The parent called me yesterday, and she said some mama actually told her. Yeah, I mean they and Jimmy, I think one of y'all said it on the air. Somebody said it yesterday. They were talking about the kids know. Said, man, I played with you. We was in the same grade. How you 2 grades behind me? Then one guy, Coach Von Zell said he pulled up to a middle school game, and the guy get out of the car with his uniform on, and at a middle school game. And so, and I just, like I said, it was just but I felt a lot better. It gave me a headache yesterday, but I felt a lot better about it after talking to a couple of parents. They said, Mr. Hatter, that just goes on. People, it just goes on. He said, people in this game, people going to try to do anything. Want my kid to be older, out there and dominate those little boys, so they can, forever the reason. I just, my personally thing, I just wanted to talk to parents who did it, parents who believe in it. If you believe in it, we'll open up the phone lines for y'all. If you actually believe in it, I just want to hear. No, we ain't gonna open up the phone line because Jimmy got to leave early today. But Jimmy, I just be trying to figure out. I never sit around as a parent saying, "Hey man, I'm finna hold you back." And I had a midget. I could have held him back, but guess what? I said, no. If I hold you back, it'll be taking you that long to get to Harvard. That's how I was thinking. Why would I hold him back from getting to college quicker? I'd rather put him up. But different parents have their way. And Jimmy, and it worked for some people. Like Justin Jackson. Did he ever make a team? Because he got moved around.
Yeah, he was part of the most recent trade with Dallas Mavericks in the offseason. So
But is he still on that team?
No, he's not with Dallas. He got traded
the
from
team
Dallas.
that he got traded to. Is he still on that team?
Well, I mean, with opening day rosters was set yesterday in the last 24 hours.
Because I looked at a few of them. So a lot of people free agents. And guess what I was thinking about? Nobody picked up Isaiah Thomas. But back to what we was talking about, Jimmy. I mean, I know you never had a chance. I mean, it's not a fair subject to talk about. You really don't deal with those kids that young. I'm really talking to the Coach Woods came back and said there's no upset. There was no upset. Them guys was no upset. He went for a triple. He only went for a triple double. It wasn't an upset. That game.
Well, no, that's him. We know him. We know he was, but as far as the team,
okay,
that's what I'm saying.
No,
I mean,
you just said it wasn't an upset.
They were there. Both teams did. But we in Houston, we felt in Houston that Hightower. Not many Houstonians had the luxury of scouting the team, but based on the team that they played against and the level of competition that Hightower had played against, we felt that Hightower was the favorite and going into that game.
Yeah, that game could have been won by Hightower too. Hightower had a couple chances to win that game too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely had a chance to win the game.
Yeah,
but back to the Justin Jackson. He's with the OKC Thunder.
Okay, he's on the roster.
So they'll be in Houston on tomorrow. He's on the roster.
Okay, all right. But back to what Brandon Nickerson and I'm just curious. And parents, I'm not trying to embarrass you about it. I'm really And if you notice, I hope you're looking and know my heart on this one. I'm just trying to figure out what makes you want to do that. What's the end game? What's the end game that would make you want to do that? That's all. You're a little fuzzy. I
Well,
got it. Don't worry about it. That's your internet. But you
well,
on the screen though. You good.
one of the things as far as the reclass,
Mm-hmm.
at some point, parents are gambling and taking the risk and saying, by holding you back and keeping you in my house an extra year, it will earn you a free college education. It would increase your odds of the free college education. And let's be real, to play basketball in college where you really want to play it.
Jimmy, I'm not talking about holding your kid back.
Doing.
Notice, that ain't what I was talking about. I'm talking about playing in these AAU tournaments. You 16 years old and you playing against these 13 and 14-year-old kids. I think that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, if that's going to help you in an advantage, yes. Well, Jimmy, that means, Jimmy, when you get to the ninth grade, right before the ninth grade in eighth, you reclass. But that don't mean you go down there and try to play against these little boys. That's the problem. That's where the birth certificate dilemma came in. That's where all of that came in. I'm talking about, I understand what you saying. Hey, because I heard a college coach said, I'm going to reclass my kid. I'm going to prep him and everything. He want him to be a 20-year-old freshman. Yeah, but that ain't what I'm talking about. That ain't what I'm talking about. We got a special guest about to come on too, Jimmy, in just a second. And he can help talk about it. Let me just bring him on in, Jimmy.
I'm getting ready to land the plane shortly. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. But meanwhile, you guys understand one thing. And the question is, not talking about reclassing. You're saying the reason why a lot of guys play down, or why, when my thing is, before I toss it over, we have Alan Branch joining us from Texas Boys Basketball. And one of the things that I believe is, first of all, most grassroots coaches are very well aware if there's a kid that could be compromising the age restrictions on his team. Most of them are aware or suspecting of. Now, all they need to see is the parent or guardian tell them, hell, he's in the 6th grade, and you're gonna run with it. Now
they could be in the 6th grade, but they're 20 years old in the 6th grade. But keep going.
And but the integrity goes because the rule bears on the event operator to enforce whatever his restrictions or guidelines is on the teams. Most event operators do not enforce that. Most do not. However, didn't say all. Most do not. And what most will do is say, if I'm doing an event and the team went and played in the Allen Branch event last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm gonna say, hell, they played in Branch stuff. He let them play, so he must be the right age.
They had a mess up. Wait a minute, y'all had a ineligible player played in one tournament, then played in a Branch tournament, then the NCAA got. Boy, we'll talk about that later, Brad.
That was a mess. That was a couple of years back.
Yeah,
I mean, that type of stuff. That was a mess.
Yes.
Because now the integrity of the person, of the guardian, and the person that's speaking for the kid, you're trusting them. Somebody's trusting their word.
Okay.
You know, and it's just but
Jimmy, I'm talking about the legitimate cheating. I'm not talking about the parents saying, man, my son is not as adept. And you can help me with this, Branch. My son is not that mature right now. I ain't talking about that parent. I'm talking about the parent saying, hey, I'm finna change this birth certificate. The California parents, it's a parent I heard this when we was a little June bugging, Jimmy. We was June bugging with the Jaguars a long time ago. We was with the Houston Jaguars. Quit laughing at me, Brett. We were traveling all over. We won the Nationals 2 years in a row, Jimmy. Jimmy, after the game, what's it? John Drew, Larry Drew wife, her son played. You Larry Drew Jr. He played. He was playing against and she walked out of there. Yeah, you know we from California. We know how to change them birth certificates. She did that, Jimmy. That
ain't the first time or the last time she can say something in the gym.
Yeah, because they was getting into it with our mamas.
She had a fair share of outbursts.
See, we had this big boy called Big John from out of town. I don't know. He can't play no more. He was Big John back then, but he's Little John right now. He the same size he was when he was he the same size he is now that he was with it. So he Little John right now. But
it happens.
But Branch, it's crazy to me that lady said that. Cause hold up, y'all, Jimmy. I had to get in between them. Cause some of our parents was finna get into it with their parents, the mamas, not the dads.
Mama's going wild.
Oh my God, they was finna go in. Jimmy, I had some mamas that'll throw down, man. Hey, y'all don't tell them I told you. But
they were for their children. They were for their babies.
Chance mama. Chance,
hold stop right there. Don't tell me like that. Don't
do it. Okay.
Don't do it. I'm gonna save him from himself, Jimmy.
No, Alan Branch. Alan Branch, no.
He's ready to go.
Jimmy, I know them mamas. I can talk about them mamas. Hey, Branch, don't let me tell you about them, your mama.
I'm going to talk about them mamas. So we're going to get thrown right in. We're going to get thrown right under the bus with him, Jimmy.
Mama going wild. Y'all right, mama's going. My bad. Thank you, Branch. Branch, I love you, baby. Hey, I love you. But Jimmy.
So Branch, is there any way, what's the solution to the teams that knowingly get the older kids to play down and in this grassroots stuff? What's the solution?
Well, first of all, I think you look at recruitable grassroots basketball, and then you look at youth basketball. There's some line somewhere around 14U where I think that's really an enforceable concern.
Okay.
Once you go to 17U basketball, the NCAA recruitability of a player will take care of the being eligible or not violating that deal. It's down in the 9U to 14U where these people just want to, like you see behind me, they just want to win that trophy right there. AAU basketball, grade exception, age exception. These different things, these rules have been put in place to navigate around those things. I didn't hear y'all's whole conversation because of where all this came from. But if you're talking from the concept of recruitable 17U grassroots basketball, I hope I'm not offending you guys or anybody else listening. Nobody cares. Is he eligible in the NCAA? Is he an potentially eligible junior college or NCAA eligible player? That's what the concern is. I came into this business, the average age in the ACC at that particular time was incoming freshman was like 19 months, almost 20 years old. And it was an old, tough league. That was when you could prep guys over and over and over again. There was no 8-semester window or period of time that from the time a kid entered the 8th grade that he had to make it into college before he started to lose his eligibility. I think that half of it takes care of there. But God pray for the parents and the people that are down there with the 9U, 10U, and 11-year-old that want to win so bad they're gonna take some 13, 14-year-old kid and throw him in there with that. What are you doing for the kid? You're hurting the kid, first of all, by putting him down there just to win a trophy.
That's all.
I mean, you're losing the enthusiasm of sports. They want to win so bad. And in my opinion, they're winning. Their focus of winning is winning on the wrong thing. Don't get me wrong, competing and winning is important. But when we take these kids into this youth space, We're supposed to be trying to win to prepare them for life, whether it's through education, whether it's through values, knowing how to be a good sportsman, work ethics, commitment. It's kind of like I was saying to someone, I lost a dear mother of mine, not my mother, but a mother that was like my mother. And she always had a saying to me, my college roommate's mother, she always had a saying, are you where you're supposed to be, and are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? That's what if you use that as your value system of how you teach kids, that's the things that we should be concerned about. But I mean, and I know y'all on another subject.
No.
I don't want to
Stop there, Branch. That was not the only topic. On that topic, they talked about one coach being a pedophile, and how do you do background checks as a parent? How does a background check help on these guys? Because they find out one coach was a pedophile. Go do your thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I love that one. Jimmy will know exactly where I'm going on this one.
Okay.
If you will go and nobody wants to organize and follow any rules and line up and do any type of process. When you eliminate process, you're going to get chaos every time. Jimmy's our event operator. He knows it. The more you take the process out of it, the more chaotic it becomes. Yes or no, Jimmy?
It's going to be very chaotic. Yes.
Right. So here you go. Verified. Who are we using now with the NCAA? Verified. There's a agency that will do the things that will bring about a certain amount of clarity, even with the documentation on the age. There's a guy that used to be with 5 Star. His father was partners with Howard Garfinkel that runs a company now that were verified. But the biggest problem with basketball, and you don't see this as much in other youth sports, is it's the wild, wild west. Everybody wants to do their own thing with no level of accountability, no process in it. All we want is like a lot of the handlers and the club coaches stuff. Man, we just want to let them hoop. We just want to let them hoop. They don't want any kind of structure to the thing. Man, we just hooping, man. All that don't matter. We don't need no rosters. We don't need this. We don't need to check in. We got Knicks on that court right there. Brad, I can't believe you put us, or Jimmy, I can't believe you put us over there. We're supposed to be on that court right there. They don't want to follow policy and procedures. It's a bad demonstration to the kids that are in the process of learning. What do they know about policy and procedures when you don't teach them that way? But that's my 2 cents there.
Yeah, but verify. What I'm talking about the pedophile situation. So they got a service that can vet.
Yes.
I'm talking about the high school. I mean the summer coaches. I mean the AAU coaches. The NCAA. Somebody got to verify. It's called verify something.
What are you doing? There is a corporate entity called Verified Volunteers. Okay. It's not just used for basketball.
For anybody. Okay, gotcha.
All across the board. But the only time that's ever utilized is at NCAA certified events, because the NCAA doesn't want the liability of exposing a child to a pedophile or some situation that's not fit for a kid to be in.
So is it anything a parent can do? Jimmy, just like go, hey man, give me your at least check and see if he got a record.
Well, I mean, first the easiest way, and I apply the solution, because most parents out there, if you're involved with grassroots, no matter what sport it is, you probably don't know.
No.
So how about at first? Remember, there's some way that you met this person or they met you. Either they word of mouth from them or word of mouth from you seeking for a team. So now you meet this person. Then how about this? If you're meeting that person, trust me, 2 things you can do. One, you can ask that person, since you're going to be in charge of my son, can I see a copy of your driver's license?
Okay.
That way you in charge of my son. There ain't no way, if I'm pure, what would I not want you to see my driving license for? A driving license, I mean, it's my driving license. You're not going to go and impersonate me. So guess what? Take a picture of the driver's license with your cell phone. You got enough with that driving license to go and do the homework yourself.
That's right.
on publicoffender.com.
But Jimmy, I wouldn't want everybody.
Or you can ask
Jimmy,
that
I wouldn't
person.
want everybody having my address.
But you understand, you're my grassroots volunteer coach.
I still wouldn't want everybody to have my address because people can use that in some of them pay. You can use that in fraud.
Yeah, identity theft. That's what are you going to?
If they had my address, I'm just saying me. I'm not giving you my damn address.
But guess what?
I just black it out. I just black it out. Yeah.
Guess what? Don't take a picture of it. If they don't let you take a picture, at least you let you see it.
Okay.
At first, they're gonna memorize it like that. That's some devil stuff.
I got.
But that goes both ways. If a parent is gonna go and do identity theft on their grassroots coach of handling their kid, that's a two-edged sword. Ask that coach, have you been convicted of a felony?
And I will ask him flat out, Branch, are you a pedophile? I would ask.
No. Pedophiles ain't gonna confess to being pedophiles.
But I'm gonna ask
they're gonna use another name. They're gonna say, understand.
I'm gonna say,
do you ask him that? Have you been convicted? Have you been convicted of a felony? That means now you leaving it wide open. Because guess what? Even if it wasn't okay, we talking about pedophilia.
Yeah.
What if it was burglary? What if it was theft of checks? So you want to ask them, have you been convicted of a felony? And then let it go from there. Then you decide, make a decision. Because then if yes, then look, I understand. I got people in my family that's been to the joint. So whatever, what was it? May I ask?
I got something for Branch. Branch, you can see the comments, Branch. If you got a little. You can see the comments. Because somebody said,
that red eye, you better see all the comments.
Yeah.
We got some good technology on the Top Shot now, man. We get better every week.
Yeah, we get better. Branch, Crystal Wick says something good, Jimmy. She said the problem is a lot of pedophiles haven't even been caught, so they have no record. Think about the teachers.
It's yeah, I mean, but that's nothing you can. That's your inside.
That's like a drunk
litmus test, human to human. That's nothing you can do about it if you've never been charged or arrested or convicted. What'd you say, Branch?
Oh, no, that's exactly. I mean, you predicting what's going to happen. We can't predict what's going to happen. You can only look for a repeat situation. But I feel that people get so in pursuit, and when they get in pursuit of certain agendas, they take so many other things for granted. Is what it comes down to. I mean, I don't even want a guy that is not managing his personal life correctly around my son, or if I had a daughter playing the same thing, because you want an environment, you want an environment that's conducive to the success. I mean, I remember when I first came in, with a guy named his father, Fred Taylor, executive at Hewlett Packard. He was the first guy that asked me to help with a grassroots basketball team back in the 90s. And I had respect for why he came to me and wanted me to be involved. I was a football guy, but he knew me as a football guy. He said, but you'll be good for the kids. You can help with the kids and mentoring and doing these things. You'll take care of the basketball part. It's what you see is you just see a loss of what the real goal is or agenda is. I mean, we talk about pedophile, we talk about a lot of different things. I mean, a lot of people have made mistakes in life, but what track is their life on, and what is the reason that they're involved? Two people I know sitting right here, actually all three of us, about upstairs, we didn't get involved in basketball and youth basketball because we needed to do it to make a living. We got involved. We wanted to help some kids. I mean, genuinely, exactly. I wanted to mentor some kids. I remember when Jimmy was over with Hay and I had the Houston Cobras, and our deal is that we were trying to say, okay, these kids are out here. They need somebody around that's going to give them some positive direction. Well, on the flip side of it, parents should be in pursuit. Do you want your son or daughter around an adult that you wouldn't want to grow up and be like? How about that? Do you actually want somebody spending that kind of time? I mean, when I was a summer coach, I was loading kids up at the airport with birth certificates and flying them all over the country. This was before any circuits and all that stuff. We were all kind of places. We bring them back home on Sunday. I mean, think about the trust. They I won't call names, but those. Well, here Bobby Hatter is. He did not want Robert Hatter Jr. hanging out with Alan Branch if I was going to teach him how to smoke dope, and chase, do this, and not education wasn't important, and I was going to talk to women any kind of way, and I was going to bring him in my room, and there's going to be some pornographic material going on the screen, and I was going to be. There's one thing I hate right here. I got to say this.
Come on, bro.
I cannot stand to see. We all are men, and they're young men. A conversation about how attractive a woman is with a kid. Just when you start crossing those lines and having things to happen. You got a 15, 16-year-old kid sitting there talking to a 30 or 40-year-old grown man, and they both are evaluating someone of the opposite. You don't have those kind of conversations. You don't want, like I say, he's right here in person. Robert Hatter never had to question what kind of influence I was on Robert Hatter Jr. From the time he was 11 to 12 years old. That was his background check. He didn't do it through verified volunteers. He looked at the character. He looked at the fundraising things that we have been a part of together. He looked at the background, the history. Robert Jr.'s mother had known me since college. You got to vet people. You just don't get in bed with these people. I mean, that's what you do. I mean, you turn your kids loose with somebody. Who are you turning them loose with?
And Branch, and that's one of the reasons, and he'll tell you now, he never, in his adolescence year, he never spent the night over other people's house.
My mother didn't believe in it either. My mother and father didn't believe that either. No.
My mom,
this stuff is, understand, why are so many people afraid to ask the magic question from grown folk? Have you been convicted of a misdemeanor? Have you been to jail before? What I want to know, you've been around my kid. And then all of a sudden it's like, this your kid.
That's right.
And everybody's like, we gotta tell you to ask some stranger. Do y'all guys not understand? There are lots of people that are in grassroots basketball that have been to jail before. Understand that you got to face that. Now, the thing is, what have they been for? That's a different thing to where some people will say, you know what, I'm cool with that. And then some people may say, no, hell no. I'm not cool with that. Back in the days, and I got to get off in a second, but a lot of people may not know this, and I'm going to encourage you to do so. I don't know how much would be on social, on the internet, but I think something may be there. Google J.A.Y. Parker. Jay Parker was at one point in time one of the most powerful people in all of grassroots basketball. He resided in Houston. If you played grassroots basketball in the city of Houston during the 80s, he had such a monopoly on the area that they had their league in Houston gold, Houston silver, Houston bronze. You went to their leagues, you play in their league, then they picked the top players and make one traveling team would be Houston gold. Houston gold went and played in, at the time they had the BCI. That was the nemesis of the AAU. The BCI, basically the rules were pretty much the same. In BCI, everybody had to play. AAU, everybody ain't got to play. You had to play everybody in BCI. That was one of the main common rules about the Nationals in Phoenix, AAU Nationals was in Orlando. Jay Parker was a white guy. Every single top star player during those 80s had to go through Houston Gold, Houston, in order to get out of this city and go travel abroad. Jay Parker, guess what? Guess what? He got caught doing the Pee Wee Herman in his own car on some kids. I didn't say suspect, got caught.
In the park, in Memorial Park, or one of those parks there in Houston.
Jimmy, were the kids black? Were the kids black?
The kids he was doing it on. Yeah, I don't know who that they protected. It was on a school bus, I think, or something like that. It was kid, or I was coming out of school
because a daddy like me would have messed him up. That's all.
Jay Parker hadn't been convicted of a crime at the time, but Jay Parker had those tendencies. So everybody has different antennas. You have an antenna, and you can tell if a man has certain tendencies. You can't tell me that you don't have that sense inside you. If that sense is met and peaked, then you got to get your son the hell or your daughter the hell up out of there. That's on your ass.
That's right.
That's the thing.
That's initial accountability. That's the initial accountability of the parent.
This stuff happened. This true story in Houston. But anyway, we got to
take
it to a break, man. I got to get over here.
That's right.
I see you guys. Take it on home. Take it like that calendar. Take it on home. We got to educate and
Jimmy telling y'all the truth.
Also,
that's a fact. Those are facts.
Okay. Also, what, Jimmy?
Give them some solutions as well.
I got you. Okay. All right. We got it. Okay. We're going to take you to the break. I'm getting Jimmy out of there. I'm going to take it to a break. Jimmy gone. Let me take it to my break right quick. Hold on. Here we go. We'll be back in a minute. Welcome back to the best 120 minutes of your day. The Chop Shop, the nation's #1 urban sports talk show, and also your midday sports happy hour. Yours truly, Robert Hatter with Jim Hicks. He's not here right now. He just left. But boy, I got a heck of a person to stand in for him. Alan Branch. Alan Branch is unbelievable, y'all. I've talked about him a million times on my plight in this summer basketball and how navigated our ways through summer basketball and this academic process. And he'll tell you the story. But Alan Branch, you know, I remember he got into it. He had a son, and he got into this thing. All of us have sons, and we get into summer basketball to help people. And he was the reason, the main reason that I started helping to sponsor the franchise All-Stars. He brought that situation to me. He and Terrell Henderson, I think we did some groundbreaking and some powerful things that helped shape the culture a little bit of summer basketball a little bit, because things are different from the way when they did it back then. So, but I thank you so much. But Alan Branch, you got a venture. You've been telling me about it for a while, but you dabble in this area, but you got a new venture that I think you done found your niche in this. Wait a minute, you did evolve and pivoted in this industry, and so I'm looking at the name of it. It's called Accelerated with an X, Accelerated Sports Metrics. It's the only Black-owned sports data and analytics company, and powerful move. Because Branch, I've been talking about this kind of stuff for 4 years on this show. And when guys like you go and take these principles that I've been trying to bring, me being in the corporate world, in the sports management world, and just talk about on this show for 4 years. And then when I see somebody come behind, come on the footsteps of it and say, hey, wow, man. Coach, you are the guy who said on this show, you said, Robert Hatter, people might not like this, Robert Hatter. You always qualified. You said, man, this basketball. He said, look in this gym. Everybody in this gym black. But the people that's running stuff is white. You said, Robert, this is a white man's business and a black man's game. In other words, the white guys are treating this like business, and we playing around and playing a game with it. So you change the game. And when you accelerated, tell me about Accelerated Sports Metric. You know I'm going to shout it out to the rooftop. I know a lot of people has used you. Only thing I don't understand is why you haven't been a sponsor on the Chop Shop. So that's the only thing I got to throw. I got to throw that in there. So because
that's a good thing.
Yeah, you come on,
Never
man.
thought about that. That's a marketing opportunity. I like the way you think. We need to play a good round of golf so we can chop it up real good.
Say no more. But man, I'm proud to help you. And ladies and gentlemen, every time you come on this show, I got to tell y'all about Branch. I hope you can remember all this stuff, but it's on my heart right now. I got to remember this guy. One of the greatest reasons this guy, my son, went to Cornell is because this guy right here. I mean, he and I, when he was in the 6th grade, he even know where he was at. He know whose patio he was on talking to me, y'all. He said, we talked for hours.
By my brain.
yeah, he got a heck of a brain. We sit there and talk for hours, and he just said, man, what you want for your son? And I just said, man, I want him to go to Harvard. I said, I done saved up enough money. So if he want to go to Harvard and I got to pay for it, that's why I want to get him in. What do I, and he want to play, hold up. I want him to go to Harvard. He want to play basketball. Branch, how can we make that happen? Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm serious. This the talk. And you can go on from there, Branch. You can go on from there.
We laid a plan out. I always like to say, why is that such a hard? Emmanuel Igmanosa is probably one of the first kids that I was able to influence that went to Stanford, had a chance to go to a couple of Ivy League schools. And when I got into grassroots basketball, I wanted to influence the awareness of the opportunity that a kid has through the vehicle of basketball. You look at the first mission statement that I wrote, 1997, I believe, 1996, 97, 98 probably. And it came from the fact of Alan Branch, through the vehicle of football, had a chance to go to Princeton or West Point. God bless all my coaches, people around or whatever. Southwest Conference. We just didn't know any better. So and they did, rest in peace, losing Miss Irma Jean and all those people, and my mother, 93 years old, bedridden now. They did a great job with us, but they can't tell or teach or show what you don't know.
No.
And so I vowed when I became able, and I never knew it was going to come through basketball, I wanted to be able to be in a situation where parents and kids knew the opportunities, knew how to create a path, knew how, just like we're talking about Robert Jr. At a certain age, at 11, 12, I often ask people, what do you want? So many people run around grassroots basketball, they don't even know what they want. They just want something. Have a plan. But I vowed that if I wanted to, I can't call his name, I know his father, Jeff, a little bit older, about the same place that Jones. Kid went to Vanderbilt. There was another kid. And I can go on and on. It goes back to the Branch kid that went to Northwestern. always said that.
Joe
I mean,
Brand.
all the kids have to go there, right?
Yeah.
Joe, yeah, right. I mean, all the kids have to go to those places. I'm not saying
Right.
because
No.
it's not all about Ivy League. It's about getting the best opportunity to have the best life influence through the vehicle of basketball for the 40 years after you're done playing. I'm the same way. Andrew Jones is a mentee of mine. We've been through MD Anderson the whole 9 yards, and we still are communicating at where he's going to be when he graduates from the University of Texas. God blessed him to continue to live through all the cancer stuff, leukemia and everything. He's still playing, still have 2 years of eligibility with a degree from the University of Texas. And I spend more time not talking to Shaka about his minutes, but talking about who are you meeting on that campus? Did you go talk to Dr. Butler? Did Dr. Butler introduce you to this guy? Do you know about this guy? Are you meeting him? Did you go to this luncheon? Did you go to this brunch? Did you go here? Did you shake these hands? Did you kiss these babies? Because TJ Ford will tell you when you leave that place and a lot of other places, this is applicable multiple places. It's about more than just the basketball. Robert Hatter Jr. is a perfect example. But that's my reasoning. Everything that Hatter is telling you is about Robert Hatter, whatever stories, whatever he might have told you. He told you about me being on the escalator with the staff at Cornell. I mean, I can think of many things that steps in which I helped with Hatter's son, but it's not. I don't mean anything derogatory. It's bigger than just Hatter's son. We got to have a lot of Hatter's son. I need a whole bunch of Robert Hatter Juniors. That's the only way we're gonna change this thing. You want to change that how that game looks? We need a whole bunch of Joe Branches. We need a whole bunch of Emmanuel Ignatius. We need a whole bunch of those guys. I love the game. Nobody gets more upset. I was looking at an old practice plan of mine from April of 2003. So I love the game. But there's so much more. You only have a window of access to a certain amount of influential people for a period of time. And that's what it can afford you. That's what you're being afforded through it. And you're changing birth certificate and all that other crap, trash we were talking about stuff. I mean, and they're just missing the boat. But accelerated sports metrics, I'm going to take 2-3 minutes. I'm trying to go fast.
No, do your thing, baby. Do your thing.
We are data acquisition company that in turn provides analytical the analytical analysis on the data that allows people. The parent thing will be coming at some point, but right now it's NBA teams and college teams are our clients. I'm happy to say this: I officially have scouting contracts with NBA teams.
Okay. I remember you was working on it. But keep going.
Yeah, I've been going for that now. So they've been calling for intel, and I built relationships. But when you get to Troy Weavers, we got to get our people in position of power. Troy Weavers was just a scout. Now he's up there sitting next to the dude to sign the check. That's what's gotta happen. But you know about the guy that signed the front of the check and the guy that signed the back of the check. We talk about that all the time.
Yeah, keep going.
We got to have relationships with those people. But Accelerated Sports Metrics is a data and analytical company that analyzes right now only basketball data. We collect data. We have a analytical scientist that is a part of our company. Has worked in the NBA, has been very, very successful in the NBA, that allows an algorithm to take a box score, and from that 9 to 10 column box score, we turn around and create probably 50 to 60 columns of ratings and percentages and ratios that create a metric footprint. I can remember my first introduction to analytics was with John Lucas, Daryl Morey, and myself.
Okay.
Standing in front of the Toyota Center talking about it. And obviously John and I was kind of standing in the middle because I didn't want to step on any toes. But John was killing Daryl and Daryl was killing John back about the analytical deal. But I'll say this: if you don't believe in numbers, when they stop keeping score, that's when the numbers won't matter. Try going up there telling Chase Bank or Bank of America that the numbers don't matter. Just give me what I want. We're going to look at the numbers. We're going to look at the deposits. We're going to look at That's why you have a credit score. Numbers matter in everything. Why do we want to know what time it is if numbers don't matter? Just how do we just sit here and rattle and until we get tired? That's not the way the world works. You have credit scores. So what we bring is a rating. You say, what's the benefit of this, Alan? It, first of all, for our B2B, business to business clientele, it allows them to get more information about more players than they've ever had before, especially at the high school and grassroots level. This already exists, and Hatter knows this. Every NBA team has its analytics department. There's somewhere between 2 to 6 people on staff, but they're analyzing data we have. The problem is once you go below the collegiate level, not even at the junior college level, on down, there is no data. You just got old dudes like Alan Branch and Jimmy Hicks and Mike Coonstad sitting around saying he the best one, he this, he's that, he's that. When do the numbers come to play in the situation? So we basically collect the data, analyze the data, and then turn around and disseminate the data in various forms and fashions and to benefit the particular end user is what we do at Accelerated Sports Metrics.
Wow. Unbelievable. So all of this data for years that let's say that all of the guys that did in AAU the time before now, and all of that,
Throw it in the trash.
all that stuff is in the
It
trash.
exists. Yeah, they take every score sheet goes. Yeah, that's correct.
Every score sheet, and it could have been gone anytime.
I got one for you.
Come on.
That's exactly a part of our pitch and our deck is that we have 20 years of NCAA and NBA data stored in our database. Mm-hmm. But you hit the ceiling or the floor once you go to high school, other than a few NBA camps and a few things like that, a few exclusive events that only a fraction of a percentage of kids even get a chance to participate in, ever gets a chance to make it. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the deal. Validated data. Nobody wants to hear, I want to say a bad word. Nobody wants to hear any BS, pumped up, unreal numbers. So the last thing I want to say is through our company, Accelerated Sports Metrics, we're developing a training portal. That training portal, as it evolves and grows, will train young men and young ladies as young as 14 years old, all the way through to acquire basketball technology, understanding and acumen that will allow them to penetrate the bigger part of this business. So and it's going to also allow them to work and make more money than they're ever going to make at McDonald's or flipping burgers or doing anything. And that system is another system that we're developing because the data has to be collected. If you ever talking to Chris Walker or some of the other people talking about Branch is talking about his Uber driver system, and that will allow young men and young ladies and adults too to actually log on and say, here's an opportunity for me to go, but I'm certified. I'm a certified statistician is the reason I can go and access this.
I got a question.
I can go and work. Go ahead.
How long does those classes, are those classes been given, or how long does it take for those kids or other grown-ups to be trained?
14 sessions we're putting together right now. There's an initial aptitude test. I don't want to get too much in the weeds on any of that.
Okay.
That takes you all the way through. And the first platform that we take you to is our phase 1 of this platform is the ability for a person to be a accomplished or a thorough stat crew or genius statistician.
Wow. Alan Branch, yes, you just popped up on the screen. Rory Coleman. Great man. Another guy that's
you have no idea where that's going way back. Rory, man, what's up?
Way back, man. Unbelievable.
I see Melvin Marks and Rory Coleman. I mean, those are the guys that groomed me in this business. Those are the guys I cut my teeth with.
You know, Branch, I used to, you was talking about how early in your career, you just didn't have people who, they just didn't know. Nothing against them. They just didn't know.
No. They taught me work ethic, be where you're supposed to be, do what you're supposed to do, who God was, Don't run around telling a bunch of lies. They talk honesty and work ethic, all those things. But I remember it was a joke. Branch going to an Ivy League school. We need to get him an Ivy League haircut. That was what they were saying in the hallways at Roosevelt High School in the 1980s.
I got one for you. Go what Robert said when he first made the announcement to Cornell. Guess what one of the guys said? There ain't no real school.
I mean, it's sad. We don't know what we don't know, man. I know, Hattie. I mean, you can't do anything but
Branch, help me. Take me on this little journey. Branch, I'm writing a book, and I got a lot of issues not issues, but things I'm going through the book. Just understanding who you are, understand who your purpose. I even talked about the other day about instead of employment, look for deployment. And you follow me? And it's all going to be in my book, and I'm going to explain it one day.
That's got a lot to do with the front of the check and the back of the check.
Yeah, but look at you. And that's the stuff that I've been teaching the guys in my sphere of influence. But I always thought, I was thinking about it, I said, gee, one of the greatest enemies of man, they always talk about the greatest enemy is Satan. I think the greatest enemy of man is ignorance. Ignorance is the cause of all destruction. And Branch, some people get upset. Now, I ain't calling you. Just look.
They don't know the definition of ignorance.
You just don't know.
Just don't know. See, that's a word that every time you use that word, everybody gets defensive. Well, he ain't calling me ignorant. Well, yeah, we all are ignorant of something. They don't understand the definition of it. And that's what impedes our ability to really be able to progress. So I'm an engineering major.
Yeah.
I've had every math almost known to man. Probably every math known to man is offered at on a college campus. And even I had to understand how to utilize my tools. I was still ignorant to analytics. I took a statistics class that was barely going to brush the edges off of what's going on, the surface of what's going on in analytics. Now, my education did allow me to understand it, probably at a little more rapid pace. But we all are ignorant about something. That's what we're trying to do is educate ourselves. That doesn't mean that you don't have the aptitude. That doesn't mean that you're stupid. That doesn't mean any of those things. Ignorant just means that you haven't had the opportunity to be exposed and be educated on it.
Did your meeting with Daryl Morey and listen to him and know he's one of the leaders of the MIT to Sloan conference? You got to go to that conference. I know when it's when it's open back up.
Very, 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 very expensive conference to go to.
I know it's expensive, but guess what?
It's worth it.
Yeah, guess what? It's almost sold out every year.
It is sold out every year, not almost, and way ahead of time.
Okay,
it's almost got to you got to be a who's who and know somebody to be able to write them a check or swipe a credit card to be able to get in.
I got something for you. Because some people,
it did influence me, by the way. You asked me a question. Daryl Morey did influence me. Okay. It allowed me to understand the ecosystem and the environment and how it was perceived. So I knew what the pros and cons of the perception of analytics in sports was.
Gotcha.
That's what Daryl helped me with.
And it's biblical, Branch. They said our people perish from lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge, that's right.
But here's the point I'm trying to make, and you said this earlier, and this is why I've been on this quest for these last 4 years to give people information. I didn't think about it. Here's the point, Branch. If you don't know nothing, and you teach your children what you know, then your children are as smart as you. Maybe I need to repeat that. Branch, are you frozen? Branch done froze up on me, man. Guys. Branch, go out and come back in if you can hear me. Just go out and come back in. Yeah, just go back and come back in. Yeah, come back in. I'm going to text him and say, come back in. Come back in. Yeah, we still in. Yeah, here's a little internet. His internet got it, But it's coming. But think about that question I just asked y'all. Hey, Branch. Hey, whenever this happens, just come out and come back in. It's just
I do it all the time.
But Branch, the question was, Branch. I said, here's my point. I said, because you talked about your mama and people just didn't know. You remember you said that a minute ago. They just didn't know no better. They were great people. But here's the point. If you don't know anything and you teach your children, Branch, what you know, then your children are as smart as you are. You got me? Y'all need to write that one down. Right. And I got another one I want y'all to write down, Branch. All I know is what I've learned. Let that sink in a minute. Marcus, Melvin Marks. All I know is what I've learned.
Correct.
No matter how many books I brought, Alan Branch, I only know the ones I've read. Branch, you got some books back to you. I got books everywhere, right? But the only one, so I know some people that brought some books last year, Branch, and haven't cracked the pages yet.
Right.
You follow me? And it shows that people, people show off
good
their
intentions. They had good intentions, but they never went to the doctor.
Hey, a wise man told me this, Branch. He said, buying information, buying a book, buying information, Branch, doesn't give you revelation. Buying information, you can buy all the books you want. That don't give you got to read them. Branch, somebody told me the other day, and Branch, it blew me away. And Branch, I'm going to show you why it smacked me. They said 90% of my knowledge, of the knowledge that I need right now, is in my house in a book I've never read. Branch, hold up, Branch. I'm gonna come back to you. 90% of the knowledge you need right now is in your house in a book you never read. Branch, you know how your decorators come over? And they come over and they stage and got the little. Y'all wish y'all could just take y'all. I wish I could have a camera and show you how they stage. They got some books over here. They got some books over here. They trying to decorate and put books. Guess what I did, Demetrius, one day? Demetrius Jones. Guess what I did one day, Branch? I grabbed one of the books and got to reading. Guess what the name of the book was?
What was it? I'm curious.
Leaders Eat Last. Leaders Eat Last.
That's a lot. You talking to the
by Simon Sinek. Now I follow him all around the world. I mean, I follow him. Branch.
People need to go Google and figure out who Simon Sinek is first. They really understand what you just said.
Bad, man. And Branch, the first thing I went to his TED Talk. He had a TED Talk. He was on the. I mean, and it's just unbelievable. But Branch, I didn't never buy that book. Frank White, the lady who stays in my house, bought the book. Wait a minute, it's still over there. I done read it now, though. It's still over there. But Branch, every time, Branch, in my quest to write this book, Branch, I'm glad I could talk to you. Because you can, Branch, feel free to come in anytime. Every time I pass a library now, knowledge incriminates me. Branch, I told people earlier in the show, Branch, I never heard of Ma Rainey. Branch, you heard about Ma Rainey? You still there, Branch? Oh, you clicking off now. He's clicking off now. If anybody heard of Ma, I heard of August Wilson, but I did not know who August Wilson was. I heard about him, but I didn't know him. So this was one of his plays. Yeah, he trying to come back in. Okay. I got you, Branch. It's all right. I got you, baby. Hey, that's one thing. Hold on. And Branch,
you're back in action.
Wait a minute. Hold up. You're back on one of them. I got the wrong one. You're back on, Branch. Oh,
I'm good.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
I'm good.
Right. Okay, Branch, I was looking at this Netflix thing the other day called Ma Rainey with Viola Davis. It's the last movie that Chadwick Boseman filmed before he died. It's his last movie project called Ma, M.A. Rainey. They was calling her the mother of the blues. I didn't know. You see, Branch, I'm linking to you. You didn't know, but it was a play by August Wilson is a playwright who wrote 10 plays. Branch, me studying about this topic, Branch, he the first play that was ever on the black play that was ever on Broadway. Do you remember who it was, Branch? Raising in the Sun. Raising in the Sun by Lorraine Hansberry. That's the first one.
Lorraine Hansberry. Read the book.
Guess who played the little boy in that on Broadway? Glenn Thurman. Glenn Thurman, you know, the actor who played in a lot of movies. He played on Cooley High. He was the little cool one on Cooley High. He playing in this movie, Ma Rainey. Y'all got to go check it out. But what I love about her, Chuck McGowan, what I love about her, Branch, there's a whole narrative that's in this movie.
I got one for you. I'm totally stand along the same line.
Come on.
We know tons of people that aspire to have entrepreneurial aspirations. That's a good way of saying it. How many of those people that eat at McDonald's have ever seen the movie The Founder or read a book?
I have never seen The Founder.
Let me go look at The Founder. Go look at another one. Go look at The Banker, based out of Conroe, Texas.
Got that. Read the book. Jim, did you know they made a movie after it too?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
See, we got both of them on tap.
Keep going.
And I love what you said is that we're constantly passing by experience. That's one of the reasons I love George Raveling. Is because he pushes and pushes toward knowledge and understanding and relationships. You know, when you're around someone, they use the term iron sharpens iron. First of all, we got to realize, are you around any iron? Evaluate where you're spending your time. Iron can't sharpen iron if there's no other iron. You're the only iron. Or the question is, you have to stop and look at, I'm around iron, but I'm not iron. And see, iron has a certain sense of resiliency and the ability to deal with contact and heat and force and various conditions that make it uncomfortable. And that's what most of us don't go with knowledge and getting knowledge. And the famous words of Dr. Freddie Frazier, and there may be a few Prairie View people on here that knows he's one of world-renowned mathematicians and math instructors, wrote plenty of books, is he say, Branch, if you're not uncomfortable, I'm not doing my job. You got to get to a level of being uncomfortable to it. I was telling Chris Walker a story the other day. He said, how bad do you want this? I heard a story. How bad do you want it? You got to want it as bad as a young kid wanted to be successful. He knew a man that was extremely successful. He said, meet me at the beach tomorrow morning. And met at the beach and said, okay, take your shoes off. And they started to wade out into the water. You probably heard this. The water started to come.
Tell it.
And the water got high and high. When the water got all the way up to his neck and to his ears, the big guy that was a successful guy grabbed a little young, aspiring, successful person and dunked him and held him under the water till he couldn't get a bit of breath. And when he was just about to drown, he let him up. He said, oh man, why'd you do that to me? He said, how bad did you want to breathe when I had you under that water? Or life or death. That's how bad you got to want whatever it is that you aspire to do.
Wow.
That's when you lock into it, when it means that much to you, you got a pretty good chance of being successful.
Come up in the screen. Come up in the screen, Branch. You sitting down. Just move all you had to do is move your thing back. That's all. Yeah, I know you wanted to lean back. Oh, you was just leaning back. You cool. Well, lean back.
All I was doing was
lean back, do your thing, dude. My bad. But Branch, that's what Jim. I looked at this platform over the years, Branch. That's why I appreciate everybody and everybody that's on this platform. This, Adam Clayton Powell. Branch.
Okay.
Did you know who he was?
Nope.
Think about it. As knowledgeable as you have. You've been around the world like I have. Branch, I'm sad to say I didn't know nothing about that guy. Branch, hold up. I've heard his name. You know how you just hear people's name? But Branch, I went to Cornell. I went to watch Robert play 4 times. I mean, 1, 2, 3, each year at Columbia, each 4 years, because they play at Columbia and then they play at
Home and
home.
home. Right.
So I stayed in a hotel close to Columbia in Harlem. Okay, Branch. Me and my daughter, I took her shopping right around the corner on that main street, 125th Street, whatever it is. Excuse me, Malcolm X Boulevard. Now that's what it's called, Malcolm X Boulevard. Branch. I walked past Adam Clayton's federal building every time I went there to go to the, what's the name of the place, to the Apollo, to Sylvia's to eat. Branch, and then I looked this guy up. Branch, you got to go look him up, Branch. One of the most powerful men this world have ever known. Powerful black men this world have ever known. Did more for. I'm gonna show you how cold he is, Branch. And I told this on the show. Martin Luther King read his book on boycotting. That's how he started the Montgomery boycott. 20 years before Martin Luther King, he devised a boycott in New York. He told all the people, don't ride the bus until they hire some black people. Don't ride the bus until somebody black can be a mechanic. Don't ride the bus until, and them people never rode. They never rode the bus, and they start hiring his people.
It was effective.
20 years before Martin Luther King. And guess what, Branch? They don't talk about him. Because
you know the thing that I love, that I shouldn't say I love. I don't love that they don't talk about it. But there's another great example of that is what went on in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Oh, we talked about it. Yeah, you can talk about it. We've talked about it a million times on this show. But
right.
You can talk about it.
It needs to be more of it. You can't aspire anything that you haven't seen or that you haven't tasted. You can't want what you don't know. That's what it all comes down to.
Did I just say that? What?
Yeah.
Oh, you froze up again? Yeah. Remember I told you?
No, I'm not frozen up.
Hold up. If you don't know nothing and you teach your kid what you know,
they don't know nothing.
Okay. But keep going.
Famous words of Dr. Freddie Frazier, Prairie View A&M University. When I left the University of Texas and came to Prairie View, and he said, man, I see on your transcript you took Cal this and you took this and this there right here, man. I don't think them white folks didn't teach you nothing down there. You didn't get it like you were supposed to get it. You just getting through. You gotta get it the right way. And he used to always say, ignorance is a cycle. It goes right back to what you're talking about right there. Is if you don't know anything and you can't put your kid around somebody and that knows more than what you know, then you can't break that cycle. You're going to keep on repeating the same thing over, same aspirations. And that's what drives us into this consumer market that we get into, and we end up signing the back of the checks and not the front of the checks. The same thing happens in sports and all the way across the board.
That's why I'm so proud of you in this venture. Name it again. Accelerated Sports Metrics. You can follow us on Twitter. You can find us there. We're in the infant stages of what we're doing. We're a lot farther along than we have been. You know, I started actually understanding that we were being left out of the technological side of what was going on in sports in general. And I started understanding that around 2013, 2014. Still my mentor, everybody go Google Dr. Joe Carr, world-renowned sports psychologist. You still, that's your guy from you,
yeah. That's the guy. When Kevin Ollie, we won a national championship there in Dallas and stuff. That's the guy that did all the things. He's NBA. I mean, I don't want to, just go Google him. Go to his website. Doctor got a beautiful website.
And Branch, all we supposed to do on this show, because we don't have the time, all we go do is steer you in the right direction. Then you go and get this. And Branch, I can't leave. I wasn't going to do it, but I want you to understand this. I'm going to show you that name I mentioned to you a minute ago. Adam Clayton
Powell.
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 I'm gonna show you something about him, Branch. And
Okay.
and
I
you
put this
knowing
on.
me, I know
Right.
you're with it, but you knowing me, right?
Mhm.
One of his big things, Branch, because I was talking about today earlier on the show. I was talking about if you want to do a black stimulus right now to black business owners, buy their stuff. Hey, if you, it's
That's why
Christmas.
I bought a hand sanitizer from the young man
Yes,
that's down there from Yates
Germatize.
High School.
And not just him, anybody,
Not
Branch.
just him. That's just an example. No, that's
Branch,
exactly right.
Branch, if you want the, we talk about the stimulus plan, we can give ourselves a stimulus. What if everybody bought accelerated your services?
Well, I'll throw one thing out there, and we haven't gotten to the parents yet. But it comes out. The parents spend an average of $6,000 to $8,000 a year in grassroots basketball. They don't know they spend it because they don't know how to keep up with it, but they're spending it. As we've already done all the studies from the last 7 or 8 years.
Tell me how they spend it.
They spend in hotels. They spend in trainers, workout guys. Pull that SUV up there and put $60 to $70 worth of gas in it. They pay $12 to $14 to $15 to go in Alan Brent's, Jimmy Hicks's, and Mike Kunstad's event. They are spending their club fees. They buy airplane tickets. I mean, just think about what the average parent spends just going to Vegas, just that one trip. Then and you say, well, my son paid for free. I guarantee somebody's writing the check. Somebody's paying.
The check being written.
The check being the money is changing hands. They're not letting you in the hotel until the credit card has been swiped. And just because you had the luxury of not swiping it, somebody swiped it. As a fact, they're not letting you on the plane until you got a boarding pass. They don't throw first people show up, they just start passing out boarding passes. So the money that's per capita what's being spent in youth sports across the board and in basketball. It's $8 billion a year business. So this is what I would say to parents, and this is a little premature.
No, do you think?
Robert Hatter, you're a smart guy.
No.
Would you have sent your son? Yeah, well, that's what makes you smart. You got expectations. Would you have sent your son or daughter to school for 12 years, never got a progress report, never got any kind of standardized test score, never got a report card, and then get to the 11th or 12th grade and start trying to figure out what's going on? You would say, what's going on up at that school? You wouldn't have done that.
No, sir.
Well, in accelerated sports metrics will come to the point of, will a student athlete go through all of this process and have any type of analytical metrical footprint of what the progress of your son actually is on and off the court?
How do y'all test it off the court though, Branch?
Turn around and you'll have the same thing that John Lucas does a little bit of is athletic ability. On the court, Dr. Joe Carr, and I'll leave it at that. I don't have enough NDAs to pass around.
No.
To go to it. Yeah.
But I got some, and I'm gonna let you end it in a minute because I know we look overtime. But I told you I'd be remiss if I don't share with you about this amazing man I just mentioned to you. Some of the facts that you might not find. I happen to be around people in New York, and talk to them about it. You got to realize we got walking encyclopedias, older people that been there and were there when Adam Clayton Powell was around, real old, or their grandkids. Are you still at Branch? I don't know if you froze up or not. You froze again. Branch, move around a little bit. Boy, he froze again. Gosh, I want him to get this. This he gonna take with him. I clicked him out. I wait on him to come back in. He'll come back in. But I wanted to share this with him, y'all. I know y'all have heard it, so humor me. Some people might have. I'm just gonna text him, come back in. Cause I want to share this with y'all, and then we can get out of here because it's amazing when our young people know about he says not letting them back. Just keep trying. Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, baby. You got to keep trying, baby. Well, hey, Hey, you got to keep trying around here, man. Hey, listen to me. Somebody don't want you to get this word, so I'm finna make sure you get it. Because every time I try to give you this word,
it frees up.
It frees up. Mm-hmm. This what? So check this out, Brent. First of all, this Adam Clayton Powell guy, his big thing was don't buy where you can't work campaign. Okay? All right. This back in the 30s, Jimmy. Alan's a long time ago. Remember I told you this now when you read about it. Adam Clayton Powell probably more than any, I'm going to put it like this, probably more than any other African American changed the 20th century for black people. Branch, he was so cold, Branch. Branch, the telephone company, right? They didn't have no black people. Okay? You got me, Branch? Telephone company didn't have black people. Get what he did? He had everybody call the switchboard. All the black people just call it, inundate the switchboard so much they got to have somebody. The city hall couldn't even get a call in. The police department couldn't get because he inundated the calls. His people said, so they had to have somebody. Then he said, look here, that's going to continue till you have some black people.
Until you have some black people.
Hold up. Reliant here, the gas company, they call it Con Edison up there. They call it Con Edison up there, right?
That's correct.
Check this out, Branch.
In the north.
Yeah, Branch. They wouldn't have no black people. He said, y'all better have some black. No, I ain't had no black people. Branch, he had on Tuesdays, he had all the black people in Harlem cut their lights and gas, cut their lights out on Tuesday night. It's called it Black Tuesday.
I heard about that. Actually.
Cut your lights off on Tuesday.
I heard about that.
Hold up.
I heard about that.
And then, Branch, hold on. When you go pay your bill, pay them in pennies at the light company. So it's going to take a long time for them women to count it. It's going to take them a long time to get their money. So they had to have some black people.
I heard about that boycott.
Branch, this the kind of man, I'm telling you, man, what we know as the civil rights movement, he did it 20 years before the civil rights movement. This is what the civil rights movement was about. That March on Washington was not just about freedom, it was about jobs too.
It's about opportunity, equal opportunity.
Jimmy, Alan Branch. So this is the guy, man. They don't want Branch. Let me tell you something, Branch. Some broke my heart. Some broke my heart, man. It's broke my heart now. And I want y'all to remember this one. This got me. New York Times. I think, New York Times. I think the New York Times magazine. The Wall Street Journal. I'm sorry. The Wall Street Journal. I think that was the book. I think might have been the Wall Street, but he had a contentious relationship with them. They wrote about him in the paper. Branch, I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. Like I said, this still haunts me to this day when I read it, Branch. Adam Powell, look at these dates. You might want to write, he died on April the 4th, Alan Branch, 1972. Okay? April the 4th. On April the 6th, 2 days after he died, it was an editorial in the New York Times. That's what it was. New York Times back then was the mouthpiece of the establishment. And he always went against the establishment. Powell, I'm going to tell you, guess what he did? He often called them on TV the Cracker Bible. He said this. That's how he is, Branch. But in their article, they said on April 4th, 1968, a black leader named Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis. 4 years later, on this date, April 4th, 1972, a black leader, named Adam Powell died at Jackson Memorial Hospital in Miami, Florida. One died, Branch, and left a legacy. The other died and left nothing. I never resented more
insult
in my life from that. I never resented more. When I read that, for them to suggest 2 days after his death that a man who changed the lives of the way we know it now, Branch, and for a whole lot of other Americans that were poor, they said he left no legacy. Branch, he the one integrated. Branch, he got elected. He was a pastor of a church, but he got elected to Congress. Branch, did you know the black congressman before him couldn't go in the congressional dining hall? They had to eat somewhere else.
Dining hall, I did know about that. Yeah.
And he said, "Oh hell no, I'm coming in here." And sitting there, get what he told the waiter, the black brother. He said, "Man, make sure they don't spit in my food when they bring it to me." But Branch, I just wanted to share that with you, man. I know we done went over, but I wanted you to know. I didn't know. Think about it.
It's Hannah, it's y'all show. Y'all go as long as you want to go.
You know what? You know what? You're kind of right. You're kind of right. You're right. Hey, so anything you want to comment, I want to give the people a chance to know about what you got going on. I know you just got that going on, but Branch, I know how you helped me, and I hope you're still helping other parents around the country. And man, this is your time right now, man. Huh? It's your time.
Our goal is to scale that. You've had Ani on, you've had Tim Littlefield on.
Yes, great young
people
men.
We expanded, and they're doing a beautiful job, which allows me to go and focus more on sports resources and clients like Bilal Batley and Mark Shue and Tony Benford and Roy Snoop Johnson.
Right.
There, what we're doing there. Still big part of Texas boys basketball. I don't write any of the articles. I just do all the editing and reading and managing the content that's released, just to keep us in a good place. I was supposed to start back writing. It's pretty that I do. But Texas grassroots basketball, 12 events on slate. Pandemic, obviously, has been we took a pivot, did some mini camps, and got some of that in during the pandemic. 2021 will still be had a long talk with the NCAA. It's still going to be a little bit of a wobble out the blocks as far as live periods. We should be back in a good place in July, but we have 12 events. You'll see something released on social media at TX Boys Basketball. But my passion and excitement right now is training as many people. Yeah, it's going to be open adult, but my passion is with the kids because we're going to die. They got more life left than them. And they're excited about learning.
Right.
They're excited about technology. They don't turn their nose up because they live in a world where technology dominates things.
Right.
So at Accelerated Sports Metrics, we want to train as many statisticians as we can. We want to move them on over to where Anwar, another former college coach, is we're collaborating so that they learn everything they can learn about synergy, sports code, fast recruit, where they can navigate all of the technology platforms. And we don't want to just limit it to basketball. We try to open up more opportunities it's just like your man said. Do we want to go and consume something where we can't work? Why do we want to be at an NBA game and they won't let us sit at that table and we're not allowed to go over there and we can't go in this room and we can't sit down where they're making these decisions. We can't go in the laboratory where they analyze all the numbers and determine how much they're going to pay the athlete. We can't be a part of any of that. And that's the one thing that I aspire to do through the vehicle. It's going to give kids. I found the Jonathan Simmons and the Jimmy Butlers and the Eric Morelands and all the guys. That's one. I sleep. Numbers don't. Trust me. Every basketball scout can only be in one place at one time. Numbers can be everywhere. And it allows. So Shaka Smart and I was sitting down at the exception of this whole process. I said, Shaka, if you can walk back in the office on Tuesday after y'all burned the whole country up and seen X number of players, and I can 100X that number by you hitting the computer and seeing every 6'2" to 6'4" guard, you had assist turnover ratio of this, and shot this number from the free throw line, this number from the 3-point line, this number from the field, and had a defensive rate of this and a defensive rate of that, you could punch a button, and in roughly 10, 15, 20 seconds, it would spit you out 31 players that fit that deal. Now you know where to go look. See, we're not, and my buddy always says, trust your eyes, but your eyes got to be looking at the right things. Hey, you know how to walk, Hat. I'm going to leave you with this and I'm out. You know how to walk, but you ain't finna walk home right now. You going to get in your car and drive home.
Yes, sir.
So don't shoot numbers and analytics down. It's not taking the feel for the game out. It's just allowing us to have the ability to utilize intelligence to give us a better perception and understanding of the data and stuff that we're gathering. That's all it is. That's what I had to learn from Dal Morey and the John Lucases and Cabal together. And I can sit and have an intelligent conversation in front of anybody. Do you know how to read the numbers? Don't say what the numbers say. Can you interpret numbers? Can you read or write numbers? You know how much money is in your bank account. What if you didn't understand numbers? You couldn't read and write. You pull up. I don't know what that's. You hit the coach. Get somebody else to look at it and tell you how much money you had in the bank.
Right.
That's all it is. It's just intelligence. It's just a tool. So don't be intimidated by it. It's the future. It's how they make decisions and how they're going to continue to make decisions all the way through.
I don't think we're getting intimidated by it. I think we're getting intimidated, or not intimidated. I think we don't like other people being advanced and not giving us a chance. Because I know for a fact, I know some of the Sam Cassell is versed in analytics.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And he's so pissed off. Oh, I shouldn't have said it. Ain't no way in the world a Rockets shouldn't have brought that man in for another interview this year.
Oh, yeah.
No
that's
way.
Thing. Because we don't sign enough of the front of the checks.
I know, but he did bring, hold up now, he did hire a black coach. Now,
he did, but Sam deserved an opportunity to sit down at the table and have an opportunity to interview. I deal with this in college basketball all the time.
I know you
got
do.
The Bill Russell deal, the whole thing. The way they make decisions about who they're going to whatever are going to hire and who they're going to consider for the deal is the biggest political merry-go-round that exists in any industry on the face of the earth. It's just recycle round and round and round and round. Guys are not being looked at for their real qualifications and given the opportunity. Damon Stoudemire, go look at the analytics on his production of what he's going on, that he was given an opportunity. But how long do we have to fight for that opportunity for him to even get an opportunity? I mean, it's tons of guys. Rodney Terry just had a big. I mean, we need those things. We need those opportunities.
And it's unique that you mentioned Damon Stoudemire. I talked about him in the beginning of the show. And
did you? I didn't even
I know you didn't. I know you did. But guess why I talked about it? Because I looked. Penny Hardaway just signed a deal with Memphis for 5 more years.
Got an extension. That's correct.
Yeah, got an extension. And guess what? Damon Stoudemire was the only black college coach that added him. Some might have texted him, but tweeted out publicly. Get what he said, Branch. I don't want to miss somebody's word. Damon Stoudemire. Hold up. Boy, you sound like you about to freak. Boy, you done froze up on me. Man, you done froze up on me, Branch. Gosh. He'll come right back, y'all. He'll come back. But if not, I'm gonna get it. Oh, there you go. Look at him. Look at that. He's a bad man. He's a bad man. I got him right back in there. He ain't popped up yet, y'all. He ain't popped up yet. I guess his internet probably bad, but it's okay. But all I was gonna say, in case you missed it earlier, everybody, Damon Stoudemire, and we can end it like that. What's up, Bobby Benjamin? Damon Stoudemire came on the show. I mean, he didn't come on the show. He went on Penny's Twitter page and said, what did he say? Penny got his new deal. And he said, congratulations, coach. Uncle Brant's coming back. I think I got it. Hold on. Okay, I think I got him back. Branch, Okay, there you go.
I'm back.
You back.
Yeah, back.
Hold up.
So the tweet said what? I want to pick up right where we left off.
Hold up, Branch. Hold up. See, I done went too far. Hold on, Branch. Here we go. I'm coming, y'all. I hope they ain't in. Did I erase your tweet? And all he was saying was, man, congratulations on your new deal. When you win, we win.
We win. You know what he's talking about? What we win? We
Daddy,
win.
Hold up, Branch. Here we go. Here we go. I think I got it. And you know what okay, here it is. He said, congratulations on your extension, man. You win, we win. And I know you. And then I tweeted right after that, and I added Damon. Damon, you are a class act. Now you can go.
No, what he's talking about, when we win, when you win, we win opportunities. We need that, because I represent college coaches. When I'm sitting down, I am trying to prove why it's a good idea. You know what they're trying to do? They're trying to prove why it's not a good idea. If I'm representing Robert Hatter, all I'm doing is telling Robert Hatter did this. Well, we need somebody who does this right here. Well, he did this right here. So I need as many winning scenarios that this is not a gamble. This is not a lab experiment, that this makes sense. I mean, I'm going to go out here, and I know Snoop Johnson wouldn't mind me saying this. But you think about all the people in the black community, white community, everything across basketball, there's no way Snoop Johnson will ever be in college coaching. Man, he's high school coach, man, Snoop is this, that, the other. He can't do that. He doesn't need to be.
Somebody actually said, I've never heard that, but I'm glad you, I've never heard it.
Oh, no. You see, you from Memphis. You from Memphis, where y'all kind of speak your mind a little bit more. They killed Martin Luther King in Memphis, so y'all ought to be mad if say anything on your mind. They can't tell y'all nothing in Memphis. But you know, down in some of these more conservative situations, man, I mean, there were plenty of people that said that. I even remember when Chris Walker and Rodney Terry were interviewing for the University of Houston job, and there were basketball people right there in that city of Houston that didn't say, man, them dudes, are they ready for that? They're not. I mean, why do we have to go through so much to be ready for something, and they just get a chance to see if they're ready? But I don't. That's the way it works, man. I mean, it's a tough situation.
Well, that's
tough deal.
Well, I thank you so much, man. I love your journey, man. I'm so proud of you, Doc.
I thank God for the opportunity to keep on working at it. It's grinding along and trying to keep it all figured out, man. Appreciate the time, man. God bless you. Have a great holidays, and y'all doing an amazing job at the Chop Shop.
Thank you, man. And guess what?
Come on. In
the words of Jimmy Hicks, we're gonna yabba dabba do this thing and slide down Dino's back. Oh, I can't believe I said that. And we'll see y'all tomorrow. Chop Shop, we out of here, man.
Jim Hicks, Rob Hatter, you are now tuned in to the Chop Shop. I'm Retro. Let's get it. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. I'm talking sports talk. So turn your dials up. It's live in the Chop Shop. We in the Chop Shop. We live in the Chop Shop. We talking sports talk. We live in the Chop